There's a particular feeling when you arrive somewhere and you realize slowly that everyone around you is operating by a set of rules that you were never given. You haven't done anything wrong. You're not being rude. You simply don't know something that everyone else considers obvious. I had that feeling in Italy. We had a reservation at 6:30 in a good restaurant, center of the city. I looked it up beforehand. We came, we sat down, the waiter brought the menus and we ordered. And then I realized something. We were there alone. No one else. By the time our main courses arrived, the first Italian families were coming in. By the time our dessert arrived, the place was full, loud, alive. Everyone was there. I had booked a table at 6:30 in Italy. I arrived 2 hours before Italy actually started. I'm Stan Lee-Vens, and this channel is about the codes that shape how civilized life actually works. The history about the rules and what they tell you about the people that made them. Today, what traveling well actually requires. So why does Italy eat so late? Well, there are 3 reasons and each of them matters. The first one is practical. Italians take their lunch very seriously. A good glass of wine, good conversation, lots of food. It takes 2 to 3 hours. And if you've done it properly, you're not hungry at 6:30. The second reason is cultural, and when I found out, I thought, this is interesting. Dinner in Italy is not primarily about eating. It is la serata, the evening. It is the social event of the day. So you don't begin at 6:30 because it will end at 8:30, way too early. And ending at 9:30 is not the point. It's about a full and pleasant evening, slowly, properly, and enjoyment. The third reason goes back further, and actually I did know a little bit about it, so I could have known when I made the reservation. Before refrigeration and modern work schedules, life in the Mediterranean was built around heat. You worked in the early morning. You rested during the midday heat. Then in the cooler afternoon, you worked again. You ate when the day was actually done. So the evening was more time, it was cooler, and that was the time for la serata. Now here's the part that matters for the etiquette. When I arrived at 6:30, the restaurant accommodated me. Of course they did, but I was not, without knowing it, participating in the ritual. I was treating dinner as a logistic problem. I was filling a time slot, and Italians can feel that distinction, even if they would never say it. The rule is not that you have to eat late, the rule is that you know what dinner is before you decide when to arrive for it. That story opened something for me because once I understood the timing of that dinner, I started noticing other codes. Some codes I knew before, some codes that were new to me when I discovered them. For example, the cappuccino. I love cappuccino. I know you don't order it after 11 and certainly not after a meal. The reason is not arbitrary, it's just Italians believe that milk is too heavy for digestion. You drink cappuccino in the morning on an empty stomach because your body can cope with it. And after a meal, for example, you drink an espresso. This helps the digestion. So if you order a cappuccino after a meal or after 11, you're actually telling an Italian that you don't trust your own stomach, or that you just didn't think about it at all. I know everyone tries to go to a good restaurant, so I don't think you will be thrown out because you were too early or had a cappuccino when it's not supposed to, but you will see something in the waiter's face. And even if he won't say it, it's a very brief, very controlled expression. And that is the expression of a waiter, too polite to tell you otherwise, but also a little offended and wondering, is this tourist doing this? There are a few others. Do not put cheese on seafood. No Parmigiano on seafood. This is not a preference, this is a culinary offense. The sea and dairy do not go together. An Italian cook will tell you this with conviction. Or this one, you do not ask for ketchup. And I don't have to explain this one. And the last one, and I think this causes people a lot of social confusion. In Italy, in a good restaurant, the bill does not come until you ask for it. You can sit at your table for hours after your last espresso and the waiter will not disturb you. He's not ignoring you, he's not slow, he's just respecting your evening. Asking for the bill, il conto, is actually saying, I'm about to leave. Until you do, you are still the guest, and a good host doesn't rush his guests. Think about what that means. The restaurant is not trying to turn the table. The waiter is not working for the next booking. The meal is not a transaction. It's an occasion, and it ends when you decide it ends. Although it may seem so, none of this is uniquely Italian. Having codes like this, you can see this around the world. And that's the point I want to make. Every country has codes this embedded. Here is one of my favorite examples between Japan and Belgium on the same subject. In Belgium, if someone gives you a gift, you open it immediately, in front of them. You show your reaction, you thank them, and you make them feel that what they chose matters to you. Not opening your present immediately is considered strange, even slightly cold. It can look like you don't care. In Japan, you don't open a gift in front of the giver. You receive it with both hands, you express your gratitude, and you set it aside. Opening it immediately suggests that you have more interest in the object than in the relationship. It can look greedy. Same action, receive a gift, complete opposite reaction. I have another one. In Russia, you bring flowers when you're invited to someone's home. It's a lovely gesture. But the number of the flowers matters. You bring an odd number. 3, 5, 7. An even number of flowers is for funerals. So bringing a dozen roses in Russia, then you have actually announced that you came to mourn. These are not quirks. These are not funny cultural misunderstandings that you can laugh about over drinks later. These are moments where one person left the room thinking slightly less of you. Not because you were rude, but because you were not paying attention. And you cannot pay attention to codes that nobody ever explained to you, which is why I think it's interesting of knowing them. But even then, paying attention can get you far, far along. Something completely different now, but there is one Italian habit I want to address. Not because I can do it full justice today. I think it deserves a video on itself at some point when I'm farther along on this channel. But still I want to mention it here. It's a beautiful habit. It's also a little bit of a code, or there are codes involved in Italian culture. I'm talking about the Passeggiata, the evening walk. I noticed it and I think it's one of the most beautiful habits in Italy that you can see and you can come across. If you have ever seen the film with Monica Bellucci, Malena, you can see that ritual in that film several times. What is the Passeggiata? Well, Italians walk in the evening, after dinner. Not for exercise, not to get somewhere. They walk to be in the street, to see people, to be seen, to come across people and to enjoy the evening. It's a communal ritual. The street itself becomes something like a living room. The idea that this public space is not for transit, that it belongs to the evening, to the people, to the conversations. My girlfriend and I do this in Belgium. We walk after dinner, not because we copied Italy, but because the instinct is there when you follow it. A good meal deserves a good walk. We live in the suburbs, so we always come across other people, which is also nice. We have the conversations, just like in Italy. I'm thinking about coming back on this topic, the Passeggiata. I think there might be a whole video in it, but let me know in the comments what you think about it. So the traveler that assumes that his own manners are portable is not a rude person. I was not a rude person at that restaurant at 6:30. I just hadn't asked the right question before I arrived, which is, what does this actually mean here? Not what does dinner mean to me, but what does dinner mean to them? That shift from assumption to attention is the whole skill. It takes about 30 seconds to learn and it changes the whole experience. Later this year, I'm going further on this territory, especially the gestures. The ones that are completely innocent when you come from, but that can be a serious offense where you are going. That video I have scheduled for September. If you found this one useful, subscribe. I publish every month. I'm Stan Lee-Vens, and thank you for being here.